Hey everyone, what's going on? Nexi is here bringing you guys another guide in terms of Diablo 2. So we are going to be looking at a budget magic find sorceress. So I'm level 87, but honestly this works when you're level 70, if you're a nightmare, doesn't really matter. This is just an idea of what you want your character to look like early on in its progression, whether you are in hell, nightmare, regardless. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a look at what kind of gear you want early on as a sorceress magic find character. So here's the problem when you make a character that's new. You're not guaranteed to find something like chance guards. So you're not guaranteed to find these. You're not guaranteed to find these. You're not guaranteed to find these. Like, these are kind of rare in a sense. You have to magic find to get these. Whereas while you're questing and stuff, you're going to find a lot of rare items. Whether it's a pair of rare gloves, a rare ring, a rare amulet, or even rare boots. Now, it's important for me to show you guys these because these kind of items are pretty common, a lot more common than a specific unique that you're looking for. If you are looking for a specific pair of gloves like chance guards, chances of you finding them are not going to really work out. But if you're looking for any kind of gloves with magic find, as long as it has magic find, you're going to be fine. If it has res, that's a bonus. Same thing with the boots. Any kind of boots with magic find, that's good. If it has res, that's a bonus. Same thing with the ring. If it has cast rate, that's good. If it has magic find, that's good. If it has both of them or a mixture or something, that's also really great as well. Same thing with the amulet as well. As you guys can see here, magic find, res, cast rate, sorcerer skills. When it comes to your early on character, you want anything that you can find that's going to give you cast rate, resistances, life, skills, or magic find. I would say magic find is the most important one because usually early on, if you want to be as efficient as possible, what you want to do is have a sorceress magic find Mephisto hundreds of times. When I made my first sorceress, just recently again on single player to start my 100 magic find run series, what I did is I had gear like this. I rushed for stealth. I got Tal Eth about level 10 or so, farming normal countess. So I found Tal Eth and a 2-socket armor. I made stealth, which gives a lot of cast rate and hit recovery. The run, walk, and res is great too, but mostly cast rate and hit recovery is what you want. It makes you teleport faster, makes you survive if you get struck by any kind of minions. The hit recovery kicks in, it allows you to teleport away faster. There's so many different great things about this armor, and the most important aspect of these kind of rune words is that the runes are so common that you might as well say that you're guaranteed to find it early on. You're not guaranteed to find it, but if you magic find normal countess really quickly, a couple of times, you're pretty much guaranteed to find these 2 runes, and then you can make the stealth right away. So that's the main purpose of this kind of gear setup, is that all of these kind of items are very easy to find, and you can do this almost every time early on with a sorceress. So you go with the sorceress, then you go with the stealth is what I meant to say. You go with the stealth, any kind of rings, any kind of rares that you can find, like the rare gloves with magic find, the rare ring with magic find, the rare boots with magic find, another rare ring with magic find, another rare amulet with magic find. You want to stack as much magic find as possible. If you can get resistances and cast rate on top of that, then you're in a good place. In terms of the helmet, pretty easy to do. 3 topazes is really easy to find. 3-socket armor or helmet is really easy to find as well. You just throw them together. This is like a Shako basically. Shako and all the other helmets have about 50 magic find, kind of like this one right here. But you're not likely to find those early on. If you're likely to find these, then you're in a really good spot. But chances are you won't find something like this right away. So you want to make something that's almost guaranteed to drop, which is 3 topazes and a 3-socket mask. You just throw it together, you wear this, boom, you have 72% magic find right off the bat. Now, if you somehow don't have this yet, you can go with the lore, which gives you Ort and Soul. This will give you skills, energy, and it will give you lightning resistances against Mephisto. So that's the general base around this kind of build. At least what I run every ladder reset. I focus on items that give me magic find. I focus on early on rune words like stealth. I focus on things that are easy to find, like topaz helmets. Now, in terms of the armor, you can run stealth, but if you find 3 extra topazes, or 4, you can run a 3 or 4 topaz armor. That's going to give you more than 72%. On top of that, you can run wealth, Lem Cotier, that's going to give you 100 magic find. If you want resistances, you can run with smoke, which will give you 50. I usually make this for my mercenary first, and then I make a treachery, which I'll get into the mercenary later. If you get lucky, you can find a skin of the Viper Magi. This is amazing for a budget sorceress, but you're not guaranteed to find this unless you buy it off JSP or something. So it's really great in that case. But overall, you want to go with the stealth. It's guaranteed, it's cheap, very easy to make early on. That's just one of the best armors you'll find right away. In terms of the weapon, of course, no surprise, it's a spirit sword. Tal, Thal, Ort, Amn. All of them are very common to drop. Tal and Ort come from the second quest of Act 5. When you rescue them, you get Ral, Ort, Tal. You can use that for your sword, and there you go. Tal, Ort right there. Find a Thal, find an Amn, and find a 4-socket sword, and you're good. The real challenge of making this super powerful item is finding the 4-socket sword. Now, if you can't find the 4-socket sword in a decent amount of time, what you can do is normal Act 5 or normal Cal level, find a 0-socket crystal sword, broadsword, or longsword, and then use your Act 5 Quest 1 reward, which is socketing a weapon or any item basically, and it will turn it into a 4-socket. It has to be from normal Act 5 or normal Act Cal level, which is Act 1. So normal Cal level, normal Act 5. And you'll be able to socket it into a 4-socket weapon, and then you can make a spear out of it. So you want to go for this right away as quick as possible. Very easy to make. But if you don't get this right away, you can also go with a leaf, which is tier Ral, 2-socket staff, 3 to fire skills. If you're not fire, then you're not really going to need this. If you can find any kind of wands with castrate or blizzard scaler, whatever kind of build you're going, that can help as well. Overall though, you want the spirit, you want rare items with magic find and res. Fascia castrate is a nice bonus as well. You want the stealth, you want the spirit, you want the topaz helmet. The shield is really easy to make as well. Shale Eth, 2-socket shield. It's going to give you 25 magic find, 25 res, and cannot be frozen. It's a very good early on shield. You won't find anything better than this early on unless you get really lucky and find something. But overall, these, like the main purpose, I've said this already, but the main purpose of these items is that they're very easy to find, and you're almost guaranteed to get these kind of items as you're going through the normal and nightmare difficulties. And then when you want to magic find, you should have most of this already. So that's what's really important about emphasizing on these kind of items. You don't need a perfect ring like this. As long as it has magic find and castrate, or just magic find, or just castrate, or res and magic find, whatever, if it has a combination of these kind of stats, it's going to be really good for your character early on. You won't find something guaranteed like all res strength dex boots. Even then, I prefer these for magic find, and if I get res on them, even better. Belt, same thing. You are not guaranteed to find a good belt, like gold wrap. But if you can find a gold wrap, it's a really good early on belt, which I do recommend for the 30 magic find. Now I want to show you guys some alternative rings here. You can run Dwarf Star, you can run Nature's Peace, or Ravenfrost if you get lucky and find them. But overall, they're not really magic find jewelry. You want magic find rings, and that's what's a lot better. So these are just alternatives if you find them, but overall you want magic find, castrate, res. Same thing over here. For helmets, I kind of covered those. In terms of mercenary, you don't really need a mercenary to magic find Hell Mephisto, but if you do want to do Hell Mephisto, or more than Hell Mephisto, I mean, if you want to do Bale runs, Chaos runs, whatever, not just Mephisto all day, what I recommend for a budget mercenary is an early on insight. This will give you a lot of damage. It's going to give you meditation to allow you to cast more. It's going to save you on mana potions a lot more. It's just really good for the mercenary. It's similar to the spirit sword here, where it's really easy to make early on. The runes are very common. The Ral, the Tal, those two come from the Act 5 quest, which I mentioned here. Ral or Tal. You can use the Tal and Ort for this. You can use the Ral for this, and you know what? You're already on your way to an insight and a spirit. When it comes to the armor, what I usually run is Smoke, which is Nef Lum, but if you can find Shale, Thal, Lem before the Lum, I recommend Treachery. It's so much better. The Treachery will give you 45 attack speed, which is absolutely amazing for the mercenary. He'll be able to attack faster for not only more damage, but more life leech off any kind of helmet or weapon that you equip on him. The helmet that I usually run is Tal Rashas for the life leech and the resistances and the life. But if you don't have a Tal mask, you can also run a Crown of Thieves here, which will give you life leech, life, fire res. Vampire Gaze is really good as well, life leech and damage reduction. So any kind of life leech on the helmet if you can. Resistances is great as well. Anything in terms of the armor, in terms of resistances, attack speed, life leech. Same thing with the weapon if you don't have an insight. So that's what I recommend for a budget mercenary. And in terms of the overall character, in terms of the gear, you want to stack Magic Find so you can do Mephisto in Hell mode very easily. In terms of the build, I usually run Blizzard. So we're just going to put in our stats real quick here. It's a lot of clicking right there. Everything into Vitality. Now we go to Blizzard. I usually run 1 static, 1 teleport, 1 telekinesis. So you want to teleport everywhere, and you want to static field Mephisto to as low as you can. Then you want to go into your Blizzard build. Blizzard is the best against Mephisto. So we're going to throw 1 point into everything until we get to Blizzard. 1 point into Cold Mastery. 20 into Blizzard. You don't have to do it in this order. I'm just trying to specify where my points are going. So 20 into Blizzard. 20 into Ice Blast. This is your single target ability while Blizzard is on cooldown. Then you want to go into here. Mephisto has 175 cold resistances. So without an infinity, you want to have 175 on Cold Mastery. If you're not just doing Mephisto, you can do 100. So we'll go to 100 here. But if you are planning to do Mephisto for a long time, I do recommend you go to 175. Well, at least as high as you can go, which in this case it's 130. Then you want to go into Glacial Spike for the synergy on Blizzard and Ice Blast. As you can see here, you have Ice Blast, Ice Bolt, Glacial Spike. So you can go Ice Bolt for more damage. Some players might recommend 1 into Frozen Armor or 1 into Warmth. I don't really recommend that, and the reason why is because you don't have a whole lot of skill points. As you can see here, I only have 3 to all skills, 2 off this and 1 off this. So you're not going to get a whole lot out of Warmth or Frozen Armor. As you can see, my defense is really low. So I feel like using those 2 points are better off in more damage, like Ice Bolt. That's just my personal opinion. You can pick up 1 armor and 1 warmth if you prefer, but this is what I prefer to go with. So now we put Ice Blast on our single target, and we kill with Blizzard. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's see if I can make it over to Mephisto without dying. So here we go. So far away. I hope I don't die. Please don't die. Okay, good, so far. So now you just want to do this. This is the moat trick. You want to pick him up. You want to leer him over here. Now, this is where I recommend you don't have a mercenary, because if you don't have a mercenary, you won't aggro this guy, and you won't aggro Mephisto's attacks. So now you just kill Mephisto for free. Oh shit, look at that. We find an IK Maul. So as you guys can see here, that's basically how this guide works. You want to make your sorceress early on. You want to go Blizzard when you get into Hell mode and you are ready to Magic Find Hell Mephisto. You want to only Magic Find Hell Mephisto when you're this poorly geared. I don't really recommend doing Nightmare Magic Finding or anything. You just go straight to Hell Mephisto and do him a couple hundred times if you have that patience. In terms of the wand here, I forgot to mention this. You want to go to Akara and other vendors and find a wand that has charges of lower resist. That way you can throw it on immune minions, or in the case of Mephisto, you can throw lower resist on him to further lower his resistances below 100. It's going to allow you to kill him much faster. So that's basically how this build works. You pick up certain rune words and certain items that are very easy to find, but still give you the same value of Magic Find, or resistances, or cast rate, and then you just simply efficiently Magic Find Mephisto over and over and over again until you find better items like a Shako, or a particular rune, or something of that sort, maybe a Talrasha belt. So that's overall what you want to do with an early on sorceress, is Magic Find Hell mode. Of course, specifically Mephisto if you're by yourself. Now, if you are, of course, in a party, you can do Bale, you can do Chaos, and this guide isn't really needed for that. But this guide still fits into party magic finding because these are some of the best items you'll find early on in a ladder season anyway. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the guide, and I'll see you guys on my next video.